Good afternoon everybody, Christy from Getting Into Prepping. Today I just quickly want to discuss or talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the difference between bugging in and bugging out. Now first of all, let me just try and explain what the difference is between the two functions, or the two ideas. Bugging in is where you actually stay put, you stay where you are. Normally that would be your house. For any good thinking man, that would be your bugging in location. So what bugging in is you are staying in place, preferably at your house where all your preparations are, where you've got the home advantage. So bugging in is at home where your preparations are. Bugging out is exactly the opposite, is where you go to, there's two ways of thinking about bugging out. First of all is bugging out to a location where your preparations are. You've prepared in advance, you've got a place where you can go to, where your preparations are situated. Alternatively, bugging out bugging out to a unknown destination, which is not the ideal. That is definitely the worst case scenario that you can be in, because bugging out with no location in mind is basically being a nomad, or you're a refugee, you've got nowhere to go. So bugging out should include a place where you are heading, where you are prepared, or where you've got some preparations, some preps ready to be utilized. So that's just the difference between bugging in and bugging out. Now I'm going to be honest, when I started off preparing, I prepared to bug out. That was my plan, that in case of emergency, if something goes down, if we get to a situation where disaster X strikes and everything goes to hell in a handbasket, that would be my idea, is to bug out. Now since then I've changed my focus a little bit towards bugging in. Like I said, my preparations are at home. I've got all my stuff at home. It's just a bigger advantage to stay in place at home where you are. I've got my food preparations, I've got my water preparations, shelter is taken care of in terms of your home, security is taken care of in terms of my CCTVs, the cameras that I've got up, the alarm system that I've got up, the solar lights and the lights that I've got set up. So it's just a better idea to bug in. So that is my philosophy. I used to just ran over a piece of cardboard there. My philosophy has changed from bugging out to bugging in. But you have to be ready to bug out as well. Bugging out would probably be my first choice. No, it won't be my first choice, but it will be my choice in the situation where it is no longer safe to stay home. Let's say for instance there is a veld fire, or a fire of some nature, or there's floods or something like that that is threatening my security at home, riots, full-scale war. Hopefully we will never get there, but something that threatens your safety at home. For that reason you have to be able to bug out then. Just to be ready for bugging out, you have to have a bug out bag. I'll be talking about bugging out and bugging out bags and bugging out equipment coming up in the next series of videos that's coming out. So for now we're looking at getting home, which is the get home bag. That will be my first priority, and then bugging in all the preparations that you've got in place, your security preparations, your food, water, shelter, like I said, should be taken care of in terms of your home. But you must also be able to do repairs, running repairs on your home. If a window breaks, you've got to have something to fix that window. If the door is ripped off by a hurricane or whatever the case might be, you should be able to repair that as well. Electrical repairs if need be, that type of thing. You must also have your equipment ready for preparing of the food, your preservation of your food, your taking care of your food. That type of thing should all form part of your bugging in plan if you are planning to bug in. Like I said, that is my first priority, my first plan. So I'm preparing and looking at all the stuff that I need to make my home livable in an emergency situation for as long as possible before I bug out. But with that being said, you must know that once the situation deteriorates to such an extent that you have to bug out, it must be something that is going to happen quickly. That's the reason for having your bug out preparations in place. Your bug out vehicle, the bug out location, all of that should be in place, and you should be known by your family, so that if you get to the broken arrow scenario or point, that you can actually grab your stuff and get out of Dodge as quickly as possible. So that's just my view on bugging in versus bugging out. My priority will be bugging in because that's where I would probably be the safest and have the most equipment and everything available, versus bugging out where it's going to be difficult. Bugging out is not as romantic as it sounds. Bugging out is going to, if you haven't got a place to go, you're going to be a glorified refugee, maybe not even a glorified refugee, just a refugee. So yeah, that's my view on bugging in versus bugging out. I'm planning to bug in as far as possible for as long as possible, but I'm also able to bug out and get out of Dodge as quickly as possible in the case where I have to make that decision. Yeah, so just think about the two different views, the two different plans that you've got. Do your bugging in plan, have a bugging out plan available as well, your bugging out preparations, so that whatever the situation is, that you will be able to make the decision, take the decision once off, and once you've made that decision or taken that decision, that you can actually get out of Dodge as quickly as possible if you have to bug out, or dig in as deep as possible if you are deciding to stay in place and bug in. So yeah, that's just a short thought process, my thought process on bugging in versus bugging out. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you found some logic and some food for thought in my video and my discussion and rambling. But yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I hope that you do think about this, and then once you've decided on what your strategy is, keep on prepping. See you in the next one.